So these next series of tests will help the coach determine whether or not the athlete has any problem getting their arms up into an appropriate overhead position. Without an ideal overhead position, the athlete is not going to be able to get that good global extension pattern, and instead they'll be forced to hinge excessively from the low back. So first we're going to look at her ability to extend and rotate through the thoracic spine. So Scarlett, what I'm going to get you to do is to sit cross-legged as close to this pole as possible, or as close to this foam roller. If you do not have a foam roller like this, you can also do this right in the middle of a doorway. So I'm going to get you to do this. I'm going to place the dowel across your shoulders, and then I'll tell you what's happening next. So maybe go, Scarlett, maybe come around this way here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so she's up as close as possible. I'm going to give her this unloaded dowel, and she's going to hold on to it with her fingertips. There you go. Can you just grab onto that with your fingertips? There you go. She's going to sit up as tall as possible. So throughout this, she's not going to round forward at all. And I want you to try to rotate as far as you can towards the mirror there. Go ahead and rotate. And your goal, we're trying to get her to touch there, and she just got it, so good. That's what we're aiming for, and there was no breakdown in her spine or rounding. And try the opposite side. We're looking for, can she do it evenly? A little bit tougher, no, but she got it. Okay, good. And go again once to each side. Sometimes if athletes aren't quite sure what is expected, they might find it challenging to do. So it looks like she's working, but she's getting that range. So I'm going to give her a yes or a pass on that. Just to make the athletes feel good, you don't necessarily have to do a pass-fail, but you can do a pass and needs improvement. So that she would get a pass on. Next one, we're looking at the ability for the thoracic spine to go into extension. So normally if you want to come over here, Scarlett, normally the thoracic spine in a good, healthy, normal spine has a slight rounded curve, but in order to go into extension, she's got to be able to change that rounded curve into an extended curve. You're not often going to see a needs improvement on this, but it is something that can happen. So I'm going to get Scarlett to do the movement, and then I'll show you just in case what a needs improvement looks like. And so far she's done perfect, so we'll just double check that. Have a seat there for me, okay? And what you're going to do, maybe Andre come to the side here. She's going to put her hands up together like so. She's going to really need to brace and be tight through her core, because we don't want her to do the extension from back in the low back. And what I want you to do is just to bring those arms back as far as you can. And what we're looking for from the side is that her upper back can go into a tiny bit of an extension. And she's fighting it, but I think she's doing it. And then release forward just a little bit. Relax forward, and then go into that extension again. Good. So you can see she's needing to brace her core, and she's able to get just a very, very slight extension in the spine. It's difficult to see what we're looking for here, so I'll show you what it would look like if she wasn't able to do it, okay? And you can hop off. So it doesn't feel like much. I do think maybe Scarlett could benefit from a little bit of an extension there. I wouldn't say it's a hard needs improvement, but a slight needs improvement on that one. So a real hard needs improvement on that one, if the athlete was to have their hands here, my spine is in a normal curvature. If they were really fighting and that's as far as they could come, that would be a hard needs improvement. We want to see the athlete be able to go into a little bit more of an extension. Okay? Next, we're going to get Scarlett to sit cross-legged in front of the boxes and face Andre for me. We're going to look at her ability to just get her shoulders in the overhead position. So sit with your back right up against that wall. So you could, if you were doing this with a group of athletes, you could have them all lined up against the wall, and you could just, once you got used to this test, you could do a bang out one at a time. So first we're going to see if maintaining a good neutral spine. So she doesn't necessarily have to have her low back flush, but she needs to be close. She's going to lift her arms back up against that wall and see if you can touch completely with the back of your hands touching the wall. Arms are straight. Arms are straight. So that one, she's got it. She's fighting, and come back down and do that one more time. Coming back and pressing. Can you get your arms straight? So I'm gonna say on that one, needs a teeny bit of improvement on there. We're gonna go to our next position. If you have a floor bar, you're going to have the athlete use the floor bar. We're gonna use our trusty stick. She's gonna do that same thing with hands forward. So again, she's seated and she's gonna try to drive those arms back. It's very common that a gymnast would need more range of motion because of all the hollowing activity that they're doing. Okay, and she's gonna come back and touch, try to get the back of the wrist flat so that bar is flush. So that one's typically a little bit easier. Now I want you to turn into an over grip and do that same exercise. So palms up, arms are straight, core is tight. Again, I'm watching, she's not cheating at all, but that is one thing that you'll see athletes do. So you wanna watch for that as the coach. And coming back, and she's working to get perfect. And the other thing we want to do is do the hand over hand position, both sides that would come from doing walkovers or back handsprings on beam. So if you can do hand over hand, what I'm going to get you to do is go hand over hand, left side first, and then hand over hand, right side. Okay? So hands right tight together, and get your hand right flush to the end. Good? And go ahead and try to touch all the way back, and so the bar would come forward here, and she's aiming to just get that backhand straight and touching, good, without any, we don't want to see the head really push forward, we want to keep that chin tucked, and then go over to the other side, other hand, over hand, good, and back. And any difference in how difficult it was from hand to hand? No, okay. Now we're going to go into chest mobility. So if the shoulders are tight, the lats or the teres minor was tight, which is all the movements we were just testing, she's going to have trouble getting her hand overhead. If her chest is over tight from doing a lot of pressing movements, that can also limit her range. So Scarlett, just cinch over just a little bit more to the side. Good. Oh, right in the middle here. There we go. Okay, so what I want you to do is to, again, back nice and flat, core engaged, go into hands, stick them up position for me. Good, okay, perfect. And she is passing this one to flying colors. So what we're looking is that she's able to get this good 90 to 90 degree. So this is the angle that I'm looking for with the wrist relatively flat. Now from here, what I'm gonna get her to do is to do internal shoulder rotation. So we're testing the pec minor here. So I want you to flip, keep your elbows braced against the wall and flip your hands down without doing, see what she did there? Now I didn't cue her, so that's not because she just didn't understand what I was asking her to do. So she needs to keep her shoulders set down and back. So Scarlett, don't let your shoulders round off. And now go ahead and come forward as far as you can. Okay, so still she's rounding back. I may even have to hold her shoulders back. Come back just a little bit. Okay, and come forward. Okay, so I'm going to say pec minor there as well. Second test, we want to see just a little bit more range. And again, fairly typical of gymnasts. So I'm going to put that as a needs improvement.